Oh, hello guys and hi! So, how Christians should approach Halloween, and how Ukrainians are doing this, and what denomination is the most liberal in Ukraine that tries to reclaim this holiday, and what denomination is voting for opposite solutions. So, in this video, we will check out this question. I'm not a theology specialist, but I have researched a lot of web resources on the internet to tell you how Ukrainian Orthodox Christian, how Baptist, and how Catholic and Greek Catholics approaching to this holiday. So, let's go. Yes, we all are chasing some dopamine, especially when you're 35-year-old, you also want to have fun, even after your 9 to 5 and video recording after your shift, wondering where your social life went. Okay, especially when Hollywood and consumer culture and marketing is keeping us highly invested and engaged. So, how to proceed?
Happy Summerween!
Guys, in early 2000s, we even did not know here in Ukraine that such traditions as trick-or-treating can be approachable here in Eastern Europe, because we have already knew that we had a caroling, the special day at the 13th of January and at the 7th of January when a bunch of kids running from door to door and singing Christian hymns. We also learned them at school. So, and we received money, and for some of us it was the only source to make money fast, for additional candies, of course. However, businesses and marketing spotted a fresh opportunity that Eastern Europeans are also have their economy, so they should penetrate and flood with Halloween attributes the all malls and shops, and started to advertise it. So people started to cosplay and throw parties at that day. However, we did not celebrate Halloween in its traditional way, like traditional circular way, as you do it on the West, guys, in Canada or US, for example, because we did not have such a background. However, people also want to get a little bit drunk after the office. But at the same time, when someone are drinking or throwing parties or doing Halloween hauls, this is a topic for another video, and going door to door, some folks are sneaking into the woods, building the altar, bring their bringings like food, flowers or something else, and doing witchcraft by celebrating old Celtic holiday Samhain, one of the main 4 holidays of Wheel of the Year. Do not ask me why I know this. Guys, such gatherings are going on not only in US, for example, but here in Ukraine too. We also have a neo-paganism. And sometimes it's just a circle of people who are bringing offerings and singing the songs, but sometimes it's maybe something darker than reckless night out. And such gathering can be not only in the woods, but could be even in someone's basement or in someone's flat or even in the backyard. The place does not matter, the intention does. Long ago, the Celts marked the end of the harvest with Samhain, a twilight moment when the year turned into the boundary between the world of the living and world of the dead, and this boundary became very thin. It's not the traditional Christian holiday, it's the pagan holiday 100%. And guys, over that time, some practitioners, witches or warlocks saw this as an opportunity to reach spirits of relatives who died for an advice, for spiritual guidance, or to get what they want. However, all we know from the Bible, from the Old Testament, that you can't have a conversation with relatives who died long ago. It's deceiving from the spirits. And all we know that the names of these spirits were once angels who followed the Lucifer and were cast away on the earth. And the question remains open. When we are dressing up like skeletons to celebrate secular Halloween, I think no one of you in your sane mind will not run into the woods naked to sing hymns to Samhain. Yeah. So we are just celebrating circular Halloween by throwing parties and chanting tricks or treat. So are we celebrating Halloween, or we are participating in the world's biggest Sabbath? I don't know. Guys, before we continue our topic, I would like to praise and say thank you to everyone who's supporting this YouTube channel in any way, like sharing, commenting, or with the financial donations. Guys, this means a world to me. I would like to say that our family is supporting our friend in mechanic unit. You may probably following me for some time and know that we have bought welding machine for my friend Eugene in mechanic unit. Maybe some of you have donated on this welding machine, so thank you. So every month or 2 months we are sending him the funds for buying gas because he has a 2 balance that needs to be fulfilled for the welding, we covering it from our costs. If you want to help us or if you want to participate, I will attach a lot of receipts that we already have paid for, and in case you have such financial opportunity, that's great. It's not mandatory, it's only optional. If you can donate, please proceed to description of this video and find my Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal link. Also, when we buy another gas fulfillment, I will send these receipts in my community page on YouTube. So thank you, God be with you, and let's continue. Don't get me wrong, guys, I like good cosplay. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, just a Harry Potter as a TV show, as an art with the costumes. And I like to watch anime, and I like to watch YouTube videos about good cosplay. Sometimes your kids are going to the school play and they also dressing up as the characters, and you are cheering them from the another side of the stage. And guys, some people are doing historical reconstructions and dressing like a Waffen, but this does not mean that they are N-word. You know what I mean. To answer this question, I think the key point is the context. For example, rule of the finger. On the YouTube that I'm recently subscribed on, it called Radio Maria. Like if we translate it in English, it called Radio Mary. Radio Virgin Mary. Yeah, it's a Greek Catholic radio. They are telling us to check the finger rule. If we are doing something and can point to Jesus and we are feeling comfortable doing it, that it's okay. But if we are feeling some ick, it's better to stop. For example, if we are letting our child to dress up as a skeleton, for example, or as famous serial killer, is it pointing to Jesus? I guess no. However, if our child is dressing like an angel or a Bible character, it may be. However, if we are allowing our child to be not supervised and he is going to the household, how we can be sure that the household is safe? How we can be sure that the person who opens the door is not, for example, following Samhain celebration at that night? For example, this person can invite child in the house and show him or her like cool amulets or cool cards or cool stuff, and child become curious. What does it mean? How they can find more information about this on the internet. So we are opening the door. So in my opinion, in my humble opinion, the advice should be go with the child and supervise your child, and if you notice or spot something very weird, you need immediately leave that house. Basically, it's better and safe to go to the congregation member's house and, for example, ask for candy and say not trick or treat, but to sing hymns that points on Jesus or psalms and receive candy. Recently, I watched the interview with Catholic Father Vincent Lampert, the well-known exorcist. He said that only about 2% of the cases were the real cases of possession, of course. Another 98, it was like medical conditions or something. But he said that no one of the cases of real possession was not an accident.
Like palm reading, mediums, playing with a Ouija board, tarot cards, going to see a psychic or a medium, the practice of yoga, Reiki, the use of crystals, the use of magic.
So people purposely were searching for their relationships to be possessed. And in this way, they became closer and closer to the another side of spiritual life. Or in Ukraine, I know Father Roman Bratkovsky. He is the pastor of Charismatic Church that belongs to Greek Catholic congregation. So once he told a story that he went to the remote village where he needed to establish new church and convert people. He was on mission basically. And he met women. These women were attending his masses. Yes, and this local woman was believed to be engaged in the witchcrafts, and locals told Roman Bratkovsky about this.
Вона приносила речі, заворожені тварини чи ще, і там в тих хатах помирали люди.
However, Roman told that Satan has no power over me. He was very confident, and this woman gave him food, gave him even rooster, and he accepted all these gifts like a gift of goodwill. And after the accepting of this, some consequences followed, and his third infant died.
Тобто ось ця відьма Марта, вона зізналася по суті, що вбила вашого сина, так?
Так, вона зізналася, що вона вже не одному в селі таке зробила, і мені тим більше це робила.
We cannot tell that between these gifts and death of the innocent child, it was 100% of some connections.
Curses are only effective if you're weak in your faith.
Guys, I understand your skepticism, and I'm also a skeptical person. We cannot link the disease of this poor child and his death to the occult stuff, because, Apostle Paul said that idol has no power. However, I believe that Lucifer has, but only if God allows it to him. Yet, all the churches and all the priests online are saying, if you know for sure that some of your acquaintances is involved into the occult practices, and you know it for sure 100%, and you have you can choose wherever you can take the gifts from this person or no, it's better not to take. Guys, if you are searching for the conservative church behavior, Ukraine, believe me, is the most conservative in comparison with the churches on the West. We like the third option. Ukrainian Orthodox Church and Ukrainian Baptist churches are saying no to Halloween from the three reasons, like historical, political, and theological. Greek Catholic churches, by the way, also oppose Halloween celebration because they are linking its celebration to the Samhain and occult practices that can be harmful for believers and to faithful. And from the theological position, Eastern Orthodoxy is celebrating life, like Easter. And we believe that Jesus was resurrected and Jesus conquered death and he is alive. So we should not celebrate death. We should celebrate life, especially in the war situation when we are praying about our defenders and about people in occupation or near the front line, these settlements, and asking Archangel Michael to protect them and keep them alive and well and healthy. From the historical meaning, churches also link these occult practices that is in the core background of celebration, even in the circular way, to the Samhain that is harmful for all the believers, guys. And from the cultural and political context in today's Ukraine, rejecting Halloween is also a way to guard national and ecclesial identity against influence of occult practices. And churches are strict in this approach. And the main question is, what is most liberal congregation in Ukraine who allows to reclaim the holiday, and what this congregation is celebrating instead of Halloween? You would be surprised, but this is Catholic Church, like Western Catholic Church, or as Ukrainians called it, Rimo-Katolicka Cerkva. Roman Catholic Church is celebrating All Saints' Day on the 1st of November, and I, as an almost member of this church, is also going to the CERM on the 1st of November to reclaim this holiday. Yes, and celebrate it in the church in the common prayer. And on the 31st of October, we have All Hallows Eve, like the evening before the All Saints' Day. And in this day, I can even dress up as my favorite character and go with my friends for a walk or doing some photos, or even read the Bible to my friends and explain them something. And also we have some dinner, but this is not celebrating Halloween in its secular way or even in some Western way. It's our time to spend some hours together to have some fun and spark our creativity. I need to do a confession here, because when war, full-scale invasion has started, I was very angry and I was very afraid, and my faith was not so strong. I do not claim that it's super strong now, but I can certainly claim it's stronger than it was a few years ago. Because few years ago I also can put some skirt that was some kind of witchy and go with my friend and her dog to do some photos in the Lviv city center, and after we had a dinner. However, I do not believe that it's celebration of Halloween even in the circular way. However, when I'm deep diving into the scripture, when I'm attending church mass, I'm listening to the priest who is telling that the best way to celebrate it is to go to the mass, to the church mass on the 1st of November and spend this day with your congregation, and I do believe so. Here I have collected some takes and some quotes from the church leaders in Ukraine. For example, Metropolitan Epiphaniy, the Orthodox Church of Ukraine that received independence and Thomas from Constantinople, he's saying that Halloween is completely unacceptable for the Orthodox faithful, and framing the rejection as a matter of doctrinal purity and spiritual protection, as I already said. For example, the head of Ukrainian Baptists congregation, by the way, baptism in Ukraine is very, very conservative, even if they are Protestants, like wave of Christianity. If you are living on the West and your Baptist churches are also very strict, please confirm or deny it in the comments. So the head, Valery Antoniuk, it's the head of the Evangelical Christian Baptist Union. He is saying that Halloween is not acceptable for them either. And Major Archbishop Sviatoslav Shevchuk, Greek Catholic Church, is saying that we should focus more on the service at that day. We should serve people who are in need. So the better practice is to do something for vulnerable people at that day. For example, gathering the donations or cooking the dinner for such people. And he also emphasized that we should focus our public energy on war, humanitarian response, and liturgical reform, that is referring to the new calendar of 2023. So, as we see, Ukrainian church is very conservative, so I don't know your opinion on that. Maybe someone of you are just members of that liberal wave, so tell me in the comments what you are thinking about this. Guys, all this video was just informational, and the goal of this video was to tell you Ukrainian Christian perspective on the Halloween celebration and what Ukrainian churches are saying to do. However, I am not telling you what you should do at that time and at that day. So, as for me, I will probably cook some Ukrainian food on the 31st of October. Maybe I will invite my friends and give them this food with a good intention, of course. And maybe I will tell them something about this holiday and that the best way for this holiday is to go to the Mass next day in All Saints' Day. If you like this video, please put thumbs up and share this video to your family and friends. If you are searching for another perspective on celebration circular Halloween, because I do believe that you are not doing Sabbath at this night. Yes, and we will see you in the next one very, very soon. Bye bye, and God be with you.